Because God is your life. God is your life. In our Old Testament reading, we hear Moses speaking to the Israelites. They're poised to enter the promised land after journeying 40 years in the wilderness. God had delivered them from slavery in Egypt and had rescued them from the Egyptians who were pursuing them, trying to bring them back. God had parted the waters of the Red Sea to enable them to escape. And once on the other side, safe and sound, God spoke to Moses. First of all, God remembered him of what had taken place, how they had been saved, and that they must remember this in a ritual fashion through Passover, the Passover meal, every year at that time. A few days later, he called Moses up the mountain and spoke the Ten Commandments to him. Those were God's commandments, expectations for the Israelites, how they were to relate to God and how they were to relate to each other. And Moses went down the mountain and he found the people already in violation of the first commandment. They were in the midst of a raucous celebration, worshiping a golden calf, and God was furious. After all he had done to save his people, his chosen people, this was how they would respond. And he told Moses he would destroy them. But Moses pleaded for mercy for the Israelites, and God spared them. Why? Because the Israelites were God's chosen people. Moses then received the Ten Commandments again and went down and delivered them to the people. Now, over the next 40 years, they would wander in the wilderness, and in that time, there were hardships, and the people complained often. And they threatened to rise up against Moses. And needless to say, they did not always obey God. Now, in our text for today, they are near the end of that journey. Moses is an old man. He's addressing them one more time, reminding them of God's expectations. And it's interesting how he does this. First of all, I want us to understand that there is no gray area here. Choices need to be made. It's either this or it's that. Nothing in between. In our modern secular society, we are hearing more and more that that way of decision-making is wrong. There's outcry against what is called binary thinking. I'm not going to say anything more on that subject except to say that it is that type of thinking that is involved in God in this passage. This or that. People have to make a choice. There's two possibilities and only two. Nothing in between. God says through Moses, "See, I have set before you this day life and good, death and evil. If you obey the commandments of the Lord your God, which I command you this day, by loving the Lord your God, by walking in his ways, and by keeping his commandments and his statutes and his ordinances, then you shall live and multiply. And the Lord your God will bless you in the land which you are entering to take possession. But if your heart turns away, and you will not hear the law, but are drawn away to worship other gods and serve them, I declare to you this day that you shall perish. You shall not live long in the land which you are going over the Jordan to enter and to possess." Now I want to make some observations on those verses right there. First of all, I want you to realize that the people are given choices. They have free will. I want you to also note that God tells them that the result of the wrong choice will lead them to perish. God does not tell them here that he will cause them to perish. That may well be what happens, but that's not how it is being expressed here. What I mean to say is God is not threatening. He's warning. And this is important for what I'll say later. And finally, I want us to understand that this is not a riddle. There are two choices with two very different conclusions. It's like an open book test. In fact, it's even easier than that. It's like taking a quiz, having the answer key right in your hand. Choices are clear, and the correct answer is provided. But there still is a choice that has to be made. And God, speaking through Moses, exhorts the people to make the right choice. He says, I want you to choose life so that you and your descendants may live, loving the Lord your God and obeying him and holding fast to him. Why? Why should they do this? Well, God gives them a reason. He says, because God is their life. Because God is their life. Now, you might be thinking, hold on. Where does it say that? You can look in your celebrates right now. You can follow along. And you won't see those words, because God is their life, or because he is their life. Moses speaking those words. And you're right. Almost. As you know, I always read many translations of all of our readings. And it turns out that the English Standard Version, the ESV, has those words, because he is your life, in place of what we have for the words, for that means life to you and length of your days. That's the reason. Why should they choose life? For that means life to you and length of days. The ESV says no, because he is your life. Now, the translation that we have is not wrong. It's not incorrect. It's just not as strong. It's not as strong as God is your life. That's why you should make the right decision. And I looked in the original Hebrew and Greek to just check on this, and in fact, that's the most literal way. For he is your life. So now let's back up. God, through Moses, is imploring the Israelites to make this choice. For he is your life. That's the reason. This is a striking statement. But what does it mean? First of all, it means that the Israelites are very connected to God. On the one hand, it would seem that there's no connection because they're given free will, they're given choice. God's letting them off the leash as such. But on the other hand, they are most certainly connected because Moses says, God says through Moses, he is your life. That's a complete statement. God intends that there should be nothing outside of him or in addition to him in their lives. You see, there's finality in this. So now we can understand why God does not want them to make the wrong choice, which will lead them to not living fruitfully. God cares for them. God loves them. So to me, this passage, this Old Testament passage, that seems to be full of an ominous warning and threat, I don't see that at all. I see it as a plea from a loving parent who says, I saved you. I have led you to this land where you will be free from slavery and prosper. And I did this because I am your life. So now here we are, listening to this thousands of years later. Is there anything in this for us? I mean, we're not Israelites. We're not about to enter the promised land. We're Christians. But I need to say that this means everything for us. God speaks that same message to us through Jesus. You have heard me say many times that through baptism, we are claimed by Jesus. And we also partake of his very body and blood in Holy Communion. That's why we use this word communion, because through the sacrament, we are in community with Jesus, who is fully human and also fully God. So in that way, we might begin to understand that God, now Jesus, is our life. We are in communion with him. And we find this backed up in the New Testament. Many, many verses confirm this understanding. There's a phrase from the liturgy from the old green hymnal that I know you all remember, where we would sing, through him, with him, in him. And the basis for those words are found in many of Paul's letters. Paul to the Romans, referring to Jesus, he says, for from him and through him and to him are all things. And he writes to the Corinthians, yet for us there is one God, the Father, from whom are all things, and for whom we exist, and one Lord Jesus Christ, through whom are all things, and through whom we exist. And Paul writes to the Colossians, for in him all things were created in heaven and earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or dominions or principalities or authorities, all things were created through him and for him. So we have the same understanding. Moses spoke to the Israelites and said to them, God is your life and your length of days. And God is speaking to each and every one of us right here today. And he speaks to us every day saying, I am your life. I am your life and your length of days. Now this is a lot to take in. How are we to understand this? And what do we do with it? Well, first of all, we know we are sinners. We admit this. So are we just to accept the fact that we're sinners? By no means. God does not want this for us because he created us. And so just as God is our life, that means we are a part of his life as well, you see. He came to earth not to condemn us, not to purge us from life, from his life. Jesus came to serve us and to save us because he loves us. He promises us eternal life with him if we will simply believe in him, have faith that he came to reveal God's love for us through all of his teaching, his healing, his miracles, and ultimately his dying on the cross, giving up his life so that we would be saved, so that he would be our life and our length of days, and we would be his life and his length of days through eternity. So like Moses, Jesus is saying to us right now, choose life and live it in a holy way, giving thanks to God by offering his love to all that we encounter, helping those in need to the glory of God, because he is our life and our length of days. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen.